If you are doing cold email, lead generation, newsletter marketing, e-commerce, SaaS signups, or basically anything where email quality matters, then choosing the wrong email validation tool can quietly destroy your results before your campaign even starts. And the annoying part is that most people do not realize the damage immediately. You upload a lead list, you launch your campaign, everything looks fine for a few hours, and then slowly the problems begin. Your bounce rate starts creeping up, your sender reputation takes a hit, your emails stop landing in the inbox, and suddenly you are blaming your subject line, your offer, your copy, or your sending tool. When the real problem was much simpler. Your list was dirty. That is why email verification exists. Before you send thousands of emails, you want to know which addresses are safe, which ones are risky, which ones are invalid, and which ones should never be touched. Unless you enjoy watching your deliverability cry in a corner. But here is where things get confusing.
If you search for the best email validation tool, everyone has a different answer. Some people recommend ZeroBounce because it has a huge deliverability toolkit. Some recommend NeverBounce because it is established and has tons of integrations. Some agencies love MillionVerifier because the pricing is aggressive. Others prefer Emailable or Bouncer because they are simple and clean.
So in this video, I am comparing 6 email verification tools and ranking them based on the things that actually matter.
Accuracy, pricing, speed, API access, integrations, ease of use, and overall value. The 6 tools are EmailVerifier.io, Emailable, NeverBounce, ZeroBounce, Bouncer, and MillionVerifier.
But instead of waiting until the end to reveal the ranking, I am going to build the leaderboard as we go. After every tool, I will update the ranking so you can see who is winning and why.
And we are starting with the tool that, in my opinion, sets the benchmark for this comparison, EmailVerifier.io. EmailVerifier.io is built around a very simple promise. Verify emails without making the process expensive, confusing, or unnecessarily complicated. The platform focuses on the things most businesses actually need, which are bulk verification, real-time email validation, API access, disposable email detection, role-based filtering, catch-all filtering, CSV list cleaning, and transparent pay-as-you-go pricing. The first thing I like about EmailVerifier.io is that it does not feel like it is trying to trap you inside another subscription. You get pay-as-you-go pricing, credits never expire, and the pricing is very easy to understand. 10,000 verifications cost $18, and new users get 100 free verification credits to test the platform before paying anything. That matters because not every business verifies lists every single day. Some people verify a list once a week, some once a month, and some only when they launch a campaign. For those people, non-expiring credits are not just a small bonus, they are a real advantage. The dashboard is also clean and easy to understand. You can upload a file, start verification, see your project stats, review valid, invalid, risky, and unknown results, and then download the cleaned list without needing a tutorial just to figure out where everything is. That might sound basic, but in the software world, basic is sometimes beautiful.
Nobody wakes up in the morning excited to spend 20 minutes navigating a confusing dashboard just to clean a CSV file.
The second strong point is that EmailVerifier.io supports both bulk verification and real-time verification. Bulk verification is what you use when you already have a list and want to clean it before launching a campaign. Real-time verification is what you use when you want to check emails as they enter your system, such as on sign-up forms, checkout pages, lead capture pages, SaaS onboarding flows, or internal CRMs.
That combination makes the tool useful for cold email teams, SaaS products, e-commerce businesses, and marketers who want cleaner data before it becomes a problem.
The third thing that stands out is catch-all handling. Catch-all domains are tricky because they are configured to accept emails sent to almost any address on that domain, which makes it hard to know whether a specific inbox actually exists. Many verification tools simply mark these emails as risky or unknown and leave you to deal with the mess yourself. EmailVerifier.io includes catch-all reprocessing, which is designed to help identify additional valid emails from catch-all results. For marketers and lead generation teams, that can be useful because it helps avoid throwing away potentially valuable leads too quickly. EmailVerifier.io also claims 99.7% accuracy, includes API access, detects disposable emails, helps identify rule-based emails, supports CSV cleaning, and includes compliance positioning around GDPR, CCPA, and SOC 2. So when I look at the overall package, the strongest thing about EmailVerifier.io is not that it is trying to be the biggest platform in the world. It is that it gives most users exactly what they need: simple verification, clean pricing, API access, and credits that do not expire. So after the first tool, the leaderboard is very simple. EmailVerifier.io takes the #1 spot with the strongest overall value score because it balances affordability, simplicity, API functionality, and usability extremely well.
Now let's see if any of the bigger names can knock it down. The next tool is Emailable.
Emailable is one of the cleaner and more polished tools in the market. It has a strong reputation for speed, a modern interface, bulk verification, API access, and integrations that make it useful for teams with more advanced workflows. If your main priority is speed and you want a tool that feels mature and reliable, Emailable is definitely a strong contender. Where Emailable performs well is in the overall user experience. Uploading lists is straightforward, the interface is polished, and the platform feels like it has been designed for people who do not want unnecessary friction. It is the kind of tool that does not require a long explanation. You upload your list, verify the emails, review the results, and move forward. But when I compare Emailable directly against MillionVerifier.io, the biggest difference is value. Emailable is strong, but it can become more expensive as your volume grows. If you are verifying a small number of emails, that may not matter. But if you are verifying 10,000, 50,000, or 100,000 emails regularly, pricing starts to matter a lot more. This is where MillionVerifier.io keeps the edge. With 10,000 verifications at $18, pay-as-you-go credits, and credits that never expire, it is simply easier to recommend for businesses that want clean pricing and do not want another monthly software commitment. So Emailable is fast, polished, and reliable, but MillionVerifier.io remains number one because it gives a stronger balance of affordability and simplicity. Current leaderboard after Emailable, number one is still MillionVerifier.io, number two is Emailable.
Now let's move to NeverBounce.
NeverBounce is one of the most established names in email verification. If you have been around email marketing for a while, you have probably seen it recommended somewhere.
It is trusted, mature, and has a large integration ecosystem, which is one of its biggest strengths.
This is the kind of platform that makes sense for companies that care heavily about integrations and established infrastructure. If you're connecting verification into different CRMs, marketing tools, automation platforms, and internal workflows, NeverBounce gives you a lot of options. It also has strong API support and a reputation for reliability.
The advantage of NeverBounce is not that it feels like the cheapest or simplest tool. Its advantage is that it feels established. For larger companies, that can be comforting because they want something proven and widely used. But again, when we compare it with MillionVerifier.io, the question becomes, what does the average user actually need?
Most businesses are not looking for the most complicated setup in the world. They want to upload a list, verify it, avoid bounces, protect deliverability, and not overpay. They may also want an API for real-time validation, but they do not necessarily need a massive enterprise ecosystem. That is why MillionVerifier.io still stays ahead in this ranking. NeverBounce is excellent for integrations and maturity, but MillionVerifier.io is easier to understand, more transparent on the pricing side, and better suited for people who want a direct, affordable verification workflow without overcomplication. Current leaderboard after NeverBounce, number one is MillionVerifier.io, number two is NeverBounce, number three is Emailable.
Now we get to ZeroBounce, which is probably the most feature-packed platform on this list.
ZeroBounce is not just an email verification tool. It is more like a full deliverability toolbox. Along with email verification, it offers additional features around email scoring, blacklist monitoring, DMARC monitoring, inbox-related tools, deliverability testing, and other features that go beyond simple list cleaning. For the right user, that is a major advantage. If you are running a large email operation and want a single platform with multiple deliverability tools under one roof, ZeroBounce is very strong. It gives you much more than basic email validation, and for some teams, that is exactly what they need.
But there is a catch. Sometimes buying more features does not mean you are getting more value. It depends on whether you actually use those features.
If all you need is email verification, real-time API validation, disposable email detection, role-based filtering, and clean list exports,
then a big deliverability suite can start to feel like buying a spaceship when you only needed a bicycle.
ZeroBounce is powerful, but that power comes with more complexity and often higher cost. For advanced deliverability teams, it makes sense. For everyday marketers, SaaS founders, agencies, e-commerce brands, and businesses that simply want cleaner email lists, MillionVerifier.io is easier to recommend because it focuses on the core workflow and keeps the pricing straightforward. So ZeroBounce gets a very high score for features, but MillionVerifier.io remains number one for overall value because it is simpler, more affordable, and easier for most users to actually use. Current leaderboard after ZeroBounce, number one is MillionVerifier.io, number two is ZeroBounce, number three is NeverBounce, number four is Emailable.
Next, let's look at Bouncer. Bouncer is one of those tools that has quietly built a very good reputation.
It is clean, easy to use, and generally feels modern. The dashboard is simple, the verification workflow is smooth, and the platform does not feel overly complicated. The thing I like about Bouncer is that it understands usability. Some SaaS tools feel like they were designed by engineers for other engineers, and then normal users are just expected to suffer. Bouncer does not feel like that. It is approachable, clean, and relatively easy to navigate. In terms of positioning, Bouncer is probably one of the closer competitors to MillionVerifier.io because both tools understand that simplicity matters. Not every email verification user wants an enterprise control panel with 50 tabs and a headache included for free. But when the comparison comes down to pricing clarity and non-expiring credits, MillionVerifier.io keeps the advantage. Bouncer is a good tool, and for some users it may be a great fit, but in this ranking, MillionVerifier.io still remains ahead because it gives a cleaner value proposition for the average business user. Current leaderboard after Bouncer, number 1 is MillionVerifier.io, number 2 is ZeroBounce, number 3 is NeverBounce, number 4 is Bouncer, number 5 is Emailable.
Now we need to talk about the one tool that creates the toughest comparison, MillionVerifier. MillionVerifier is popular for one very obvious reason, and that reason is pricing.
If you spend time around cold email agencies or lead generation communities, you will hear MillionVerifier mentioned again and again because it is known as one of the more affordable options at scale. And to be fair, that matters. If you are verifying hundreds of thousands or millions of emails every month, pricing is not a small detail. It can be the difference between a healthy margin and a very painful software bill. For agencies operating at large volume, MillionVerifier has a very clear appeal. The platform is straightforward, and it does what many users want it to do: verify emails without trying to become a giant deliverability suite. That is why so many agencies like it. But when I compare MillionVerifier with MillionVerifier.io, the decision becomes more interesting. MillionVerifier is strong on cost, but MillionVerifier.io gives you a more modern dashboard, simple pricing, real-time API validation, bulk verification, disposable email detection, role-based filtering, catch-all reprocessing, free starter credits, and non-expiring credits in a package that feels cleaner for a wider range of users.
This is important because not everyone is a massive lead generation agency verifying millions of emails every month. Some users are SaaS companies validating signups. Some are e-commerce businesses trying to reduce fake checkout emails. Some are consultants cleaning lists before a campaign. Some are marketers who verify emails only when needed.
For those users, the overall experience matters just as much as the raw cost. But they also want something easy to understand, easy to use, and flexible enough to work through both dashboard uploads and API workflows.
That is why MillionVerifier.io keeps the #1 position, even against MillionVerifier. MillionVerifier is extremely competitive on price at scale, but MillionVerifier.io wins the overall value ranking because it combines low-cost verification with a cleaner interface, API access, non-expiring credits, and a more beginner-friendly workflow. Final leaderboard after all 6 tools. Number 1 is MillionVerifier.io. Number 2 is MillionVerifier. Number 3 is ZeroBounce. Number 4 is NeverBounce. Number 5 is Bouncer. And number 6 is Emailable.
Now let me make the final recommendation very simple.
If you want the most feature-heavy deliverability platform, ZeroBounce is probably the strongest option because it gives you far more than basic email verification. If your company needs a mature platform with a large integration ecosystem, NeverBounce is a safe and established choice. If your agency verifies massive lists every month and your entire decision is based on squeezing cost as low as possible at huge volume, MillionVerifier is still very difficult to ignore. But if you are looking for the best overall email validation tool for most businesses, my pick is MillionVerifier.io.
And honestly, that is what most people want from an email verification tool. They do not want a software maze. They do not want confusing pricing. They do not want to buy credits and then lose them because they forgot to use them in time.
They want to clean their list, avoid bounces, protect deliverability, and move on with their campaign.
That is why MillionVerifier.io takes the #1 spot in this comparison. So if you are currently using one of these tools, let me know in the comments which one you use and whether you have had a good or terrible experience with it. And if you want to test MillionVerifier.io yourself, you can start with the free credits, verify a sample list, and see how it fits into your own workflow. If this video helped you choose the right email validation tool, hit the like button, subscribe for more cold email and lead generation breakdowns, and I will see you in the next video.